we're going to do step number 5. We're going to demonstrate how to calculate frequency distribution histograms and tables using the pin shoulder scores at baseline divided by groups. For your homework assignment, you're going to generate frequency distribution tables with the percentiles of 25, 50, and 75, or quartiles, and then generate histograms from SPSS, copy them over to Excel, and save them on a separate worksheet. For the homework, you're going to again use age, height in centimeter, and weight in kilograms separated by both groups. So I want to show you how you can create these informations, and then also how you separate stuff if you want to have information for each individual group, sort of like what we did with the descriptive statistics. So you need to have your Excel spreadsheet open and access to your SPSS data. So before you actually generate the frequency distribution, what you want to do is you want to split the data so that you have all the healthies and all the injureds analyzed separately. And so to do that, if you go up to data and you go down to split file, you can now divide anything, any of your variables, by this. So you could do sex, males and females, you could do groups, which is what we're going to do in this case. So you're going to go down here to the analyze, organize the output by group. Sorry, I'd already put this over. And you're going to bring over group. So now what it's going to do when you hit OK, if you go back to your data file, to the actual data variables, it puts all the healthies and all the injured. So it's sort of a sorting mechanism in association with that. There's other ways to sort data in SPSS. But so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to create frequency distribution, which is really important if you have ordinal data or you have data that's not normally distributed. You want to be able to look at what's going on with that data and analyze that. The next step will actually do a calculation to determine if the data is or is not normally distributed, which will be critical before we start doing comparative analysis. Okay, so we go to descriptive statistics and we want to calculate frequencies. Now, you can sort of see I started this already. I've got my menu spread out here so I can see. So for in class, I want to demonstrate that we're going to do all the baseline pin scores. And we've already told it to do it by group, so when it gives us our output, it's going to generate this data all by the healthies and then all by the injured. So we want it to do two things. We want it to do statistics. We want it to calculate quartiles. That way we get the 25, 50, and 75. So 50 is the median, 25 and 75 is the interquartile range, which is really important and typically how you analyze data when it's not normally distributed. So we'll hit continue, and then we want to go to charts, and we want to pick histograms. You can add the normal curve. I'm not requiring you to do that in the homework assignment. It just tries to make the best normal curve alignment. So you can pretty well see with the histogram, but if you feel you want to see that, you can click that and it'll draw a curve around that, which is what you've been taught as you go through that. I'm going to turn it off for this demonstration, but it's up to you. No points added, no points taken away if you include it in your homework assignment. You hit continue. So I've told it what I want it to do. I split the data, so I'm going to get this data out in two outputs. I hit OK. Computer takes a few seconds, and voila, it gives me my 25, 50, and 75 percentile for my healthy population. This is the table for all of those scores. It also breaks it down individually. I don't need you to share that with me for your age, height, and weight for all the individuals. I use this a lot when I'm trying to organize my data and see how it's looking. And then you can sort of see it in the healthy group, it's all sort of clumped together in one big small component. Here you can see a little bit more separation between satisfaction, very much skewed. So the frequency is the count. So there were 11 people that basically said they were perfectly satisfied with their shoulder. One person was a 9, 8, and one even in the healthy group that wasn't perfectly satisfied. But you can see it sort of defaults at those bins. And within the chart development, you can change the size of that bin within your within SPSS. Happy to show you that if you want to learn how to do that. It's not a main requirement. Alright, and then here you can sort of see the total score. Pretty high distribution. Most everybody is normal function, so the lowest person is only a 94 on a 0 to 100 scale. So we have quite a ceiling effect with that. Okay, so now here's our second group. This is our injured group. Here's our 25, 50, and 75 table, and then the histograms are going to be the charts down below. So now you can start to see, let me go back up, that this is way more distributed. So that's almost a perfect normal curve, right? You have something in the middle for pain, it goes down and goes a little higher, but that's a nice normal frequency distribution. This is closer to a normal frequency distribution. Not quite as much spread, but there's not as much data to spread out. And again, here on our function score, a little bit normally distributed, but skewed toward a higher level of function. So they're not that dysfunctional. And then here's the total score. This is almost like a bimodal distribution. So now, for the homework, what I asked you to do, if you go back to the Word document, is calculate the frequency distribution tables and the histograms and drop those into the Excel document and label it. So we're going to label that as histograms. Okay, so all you have to do is go back to your SPSS output. Oops, there we go. Oop, that's the data. There's the output. I'm going to go scroll back up here to our healthy subjects. You can sort of see on the left-hand side it separates this with group injured, group healthy. So you can scroll along the side like I'm doing, or you can be non-linear and jump just up here to the healthy group. So what I want you to do is copy that, go to your Excel document, and you're going to paste that in. You can paste it in like that, or this is the more formatted table if you like that look a little bit more. And all I'm asking you on this one is to share that value of that table. And then in your presentation or your homework, you're going to have age, height, and weight for the healthy. So I'm going to label this. This is my healthy group, so I know what I'm looking at. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the pain score, the satisfaction function, and total score. Oh, I included the post-pain. That data I'm not going to use. I inadvertently grabbed that as I went. So all I'm going to have are those 1, 2, 3, 4 histogram graphs. So I'll go back to my histograms. And there we go. So that first one is a big blob, so not so beautiful. Doesn't really show much of a distribution with that. So I can paste it as a picture. I can keep the source formatting or whatever was given to me in the SPSS. I tend to pick the one that's the SPSS, and this allows me to sort of adjust it so I can make this any size so it fits sort of nicely as we go. So these are the histograms of the healthy group. And I'm just going to copy and paste those over. It's that simple to grab that data. Copy. And you might find you want to copy and paste them all at the same time. That's certainly fine by me. You know, you're going to find whatever techniques seem to work well for you related that. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Sorry. Helps to grab the right score. So there's the pin. So I got the pain score. Now I got the pin function. So I'm going to copy that and paste that over. So it seems to be changing that. That is not what I expected it to do. So let me change the paste function. Okay, seems to work better and hold it consistently with the picture format. So pasting it as a picture worked better than pasting it as a integrated activity. So I'm going to tell you to delete that one. Oops, I want to delete the whole chart. Come on, there we go. Cut that. Copy. And paste the picture. Boom. Still looks like a big blob. There's no way to get rid of that. And you can make it look pretty, make them all the same size. That makes it look a lot easier to score and grade. That's great. But basically you're copying and pasting that over. And then the second part of that will be to do that with the injured group. So you would go down here, you would take injured group frequency table, bada bing bada boom. I come over here, here's my group, here's my frequency table. That's what I want. There's the common, all the quartiles. Paste that in. Now I've got my nice little frequency. Again, I added the post-pain. I'm human, I make mistakes, but you just have to learn how to monitor and fill those things out. So now I'm going to insert my frequency distribution table. So the take home here is that you can have frequency distribution information from any data source you want now that you know how to generate these frequency distributions. This is our most pretty table. There's our paste. And I'm just shrinking that in, shrinking that down so it fits a little bit easier for me to see all of that information. So, histogram of healthy, copy, paste. I'm just going to change that from healthy to injured group. Perfect. And just copy and paste the rest of those over. So for your assignment, you would have it for age, height, and weight separated by your two groups, and then that would be a separate worksheet. So item number 4 is going to be your means and standard deviations. Item 5 is going to be your histogram or frequency distributions. I think what I labeled it in my Excel spreadsheet is mean and standard deviations and frequency distributions. And depending on what version of SPSS you're using, it might show up in a different color. That doesn't matter. The key is just to get it so you know how to move that over. Okay, I'm going to stop here and save this, and hope this is helpful.